These days, most people that live or work in the Boston area seem to be aware of the horrific spectacle that is Masson Cass. Masson Cass, according to Wikipedia, also known as Methadone Mile or Recovery Road, is a tent city located at and around the intersection of Melnia Cass Boulevard and Massachusetts Avenue in Boston, Massachusetts. It has been characterized as the epicenter of the region's opioid addiction crisis. Masson Cass is located in New Market, an industrial area of Boston that includes parts of Dorchester, South Boston, Roxbury, and the South End. Due to its concentration of service providers, the area around Masson Cass has attracted a large number of people dealing with homelessness and drug addiction, especially after the closure of facilities on Long Island in the Boston Harbor Islands. According to Mayor Wu's administration, over 150 residents have been rehoused by the city. However, despite millions of dollars being spent to tackle the opioid and homelessness crisis, nothing seems to be getting any better. After hearing from some residents of Masson Cass that the media and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu's administration had bribed struggling addicts to get on camera and share their stories in hopes for good press on the situation, I wanted to find out how the residents felt about how the city is handling this crisis. So, in November 2022, myself and two other human rights activists visited Masson Cass, spoke to a few residents, and here's some of what we learned.
I do believe that Mayor Wu did come. Unfortunately, when she got elected, this was already going on, right? So I do have to say, as much as I hate her, that she kind of got left with this, right?
She inherited it, yep.
She inherited it. Her fucking solution, it's a problem, not a solution.
Yep.
There is no fucking incentive in any of this for anybody to get sober. If I didn't have two kids, I would be down here waiting to be fucking placed. I'd go live in one of those huts where I got fucking gift cards, and then you get the food stamps and the cash assistance, and then they throw gift cards in on top of it. They shut down a building. What is the street in Dorchester? They shut down, I think it was three duplexes, right? There was 2 bedrooms, 6 2-bedrooms, so it's 6 times
18 units?
18 units, basically. And you know what they said? Okay, so I would have been placed with if me and my boyfriend were together, me and him would have been placed with like another couple.
Yeah.
If you were a single female, they'd place you with another single female. That's what they're doing. And guess what they're doing in those apartments? Trapping, basically. They come down here, they cough. So what I would do, go back down here, ready? Do whatever.
From the beginning to the end, you find someone with a needle in their arm. Start from that point, if you don't mind.
Okay, so you be the person with the needle in your neck. Name again? Shayna. Right now, I have beds. Look at where you live. Do you want to get sober?
Yeah, I want help. Yeah.
You want help?
But nobody's been giving it to me.
But nobody has been giving it to you. Really, Shayna? I find that hard to believe. Because there's lists of numbers and there's tons of people here that will call a detox for you and get a bed for you like that. They'll even Uber you to that bed. So are you sure you want to get sober, or are you on the fence?
I'm on the fence, but I want to hear your ideas. What do you think I could do?
There's a few things you could do. Is it after detox you start to feel sick? Yeah, or after the medication's out of your system, right? Have you ever thought about an MAT or anything?
No.
No, okay. So they do offer some MAT. I don't suggest that right away. I think that there should be a 2-week wait on that. Shayna, I would wait 2 weeks before you got on any MAT. Fight through it, right? Because then you're clear-minded before you make a decision to put a replacement into your body.
But everyone else is saying, all these people on TV and in the city, they're all saying I should just get on it right away.
Yeah, those people, I've been there, and these people, they don't really know what they're talking about. I'm gonna be honest with you, Shayna. I've been there, and I wish I didn't get on MAT right away. I wish that I waited, because it's the first 2 weeks that are really
That's
hard.
methadone, right?
Methadone and Suboxone. I think Suboxone is a little bit more helpful, but then again, methadone would be good if it wasn't down here, because look at what we have to see every day. How the fuck are you gonna stay sober? So we're here. You got another option, Shayna. Are you willing to Section 35 yourself?
Well, city council saying that Section 35s are inhumane.
They are not inhumane. Shayna, I have been Section 35 probably more than anybody you know. I actually call my mother Section Salad. I'm not joking. Yeah, so I've been sectioned more than anybody you know. It is not inhumane. The part that sucks is that you do end up in handcuffs, right? But, Shayna, how the fuck are you living out here? Pretty inhumane, correct? Right? So sitting in handcuffs for 3 hours, right? Sitting in handcuffs for 3 hours while they find you a bed, right? 3 hots in a cot, and there's one of them you can smoke, the other 2 you can't. I'll help you right over. The other ones you can't, okay? But you know, they're nice. Charlie Baker himself opened one in Taunton where they literally do like mental health and addiction. I went there, it saved my life several times. Yet they have WOTC, which is, yeah, okay, the handcuffs suck, all right? But guess what? If Shayna, if they don't come with you with handcuffs and you're not ready to get sober, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna fucking run. You're gonna run or you're gonna leave. They are locked facilities. It's nothing like jail. I hate when people are like, it's like prison. I've been to prison. It is nothing like prison. You wear your own clothes. You go out and smoke. You know, you have obviously, you know, everywhere you go, you got shitty staff, right?
Yeah.
But there are ones that care a lot. Shayna, I think, how long have you been out here running?
Yeah.
I personally think the only thing that would probably get you sober is a Section 35.
So who's gonna have to get one from me?
Do you have any family, Shayna?
No.
No, they're not talking to you, right?
No.
Because you've been doing
They don't
it.
even know where I am.
They have no
So
idea.
how? Right? Because can't only family get a 35 on you?
Well, Shayna, I would be willing to go down there with you, and we could talk to the clerk magistrates, and we could talk to a probation officer, and you can tell them, you know, I can tell them, she is gonna fucking die if you do not do something to help her. She does not have family. Her family does not speak with her. They don't even know where the fuck she is.
But if she doesn't want to go,
If she doesn't want to go, that's the fucked up part. Because a cop can section you, a probation officer can section you, and a doctor can section you.
So your best friend who knows you inside and out, they can't section you?
Isn't that crazy? My boyfriend, and we have 2 children together, I couldn't section him. I had to fucking make one of his sisters do it.
same.
Yeah.
So
But
that's a problem.
it is a problem. So, but the good part is if I fucking can trick you and get you in my car or whatever and tell you we're gonna go get something to eat, and you know what, I'll even get you off E before we go. You'll get high, and then all of a sudden I show up. I show up at the police station, and I beg the police to bring me to see this girl, like these cops. You know, you see this girl down here every single day. Will you please come with me to the courthouse and please tell them she is down here every single day getting high and she needs help. And this was the only thing, because let me tell you something, no, everybody will go to detox. I bet you almost everybody will. You want to know why? People usually will get them off E, right? But as soon as that medication starts wearing off and you start to feel sick, you leave. In sections, it's not that easy. You can't leave. So that would be my first. That would be what I would say to you first, right, Shayna?
But I have a question though, because the cops, a lot of the time, in my experiences with my kid's father, they don't want to help.
No?
They say it's out of their hands.
Okay, I got a better idea. We're gonna bring her to the hospital then. Look at Shanna. Fucking girl hasn't showered in God knows how long. She's tired. She hasn't eaten. I'm worried about her. She's overdosed. She has no family. Doctor, if you don't help me here, this girl's gonna die.
They ripped people out of the areas they were living, homeless, but and using drugs wherever it was throughout the city, and they created this problem. Now people flocked here on their own, but they put people here, and then it kind of just started to organically
There was
happen.
always a lot of people down here, and I think that's why he chose this place, because the clinics are like
Yeah.
one here, one
Yeah.
there. So, and then Barbara McGinnis. So, like, there was always people, like, in and out, but there was never people down here like this until, dude, when I found my boyfriend, this is funny, you can video this. When I found out my boyfriend was down here, I had never been down here, and he was in one of those tents having a fucking pizza party, basically, right? I fucking went in there and I couldn't even believe my eyes. I was stunned. People on the ground shooting up in their feet and cops just watching, dude. And then I went and flipped the table over and fucking grabbed my kid's father by his fucking hand.
Good.
Yeah, and dragged him to my car.
Good.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
So
But-
you said a stand down order from Walsh, that he started it. Do you think that Mayor Wu is giving a stand down order as well?
I know people that live in those like little things and they wait there for housing. That's where they're waiting for housing.
What, those little sheds?
Yeah,
At the Shattuck?
yeah, that's like basically like a holding for housing. So you go from here to the to an apartment, and the cops hurdle us. Well, not me. I don't live down here. I cop down here and I go. They literally hurdle people. Like, think about it. Come on, make a hole. All right, this way, guys. They'll beat their horn and they'll do their siren and they'll move you to another street. Like,
That's it.
it's like hurdling cattle. Hurdling
Because they
fucking
don't want
cattle.
people to get too comfortable on one street. They want to.
Yeah, like these things shouldn't be offered to people until they can give urines, clean urines. So, okay, you're staying in the shelter. I will give, if you can give 3 clean urines, we'll give you your own little hut or whatever, your fucking cabin, whatever you want to call it, over at the Shattuck. And if you can get a job, show us that you can, pay rent and be a person of society, we will then, talk about housing. But
So you're like earning these privileges.
yeah, not
essentially?
just giving them. I'm sorry. And then it's like, okay, that, and then like I said, the people that are coming out of halfway houses and sold houses, they're forgotten about. They are forgotten about. And guess what? 90% of them end up back down here because they're stressed out, because they're paying child support now, they're paying rent, and they have like no way to get their children back, and they're fucking devastated.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically.
I could see how that happens.
So it's like, why not help the people that want to help themselves? Any one of these people could get a bed right now. You want to know why? It's 70 degrees out, and I think it's a 6th. So people get paid the 1st through the 3rd. There's fucking beds everywhere right now. And I'm sorry. Arrest them. Or at least the deal is.
Right.
I'm not saying long term. My mom works in drug. I think he's a fucking whatever. Who am
He created this problem. People say, well, Wu. I don't have any cash on me. I'm cash free,
Sorry.
baby.
He had silver earrings.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Yeah, this is.
Some good stuff right there. I wish we
Yeah.
could help you out there,
Sorry,
but
honey.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sure you find a buyer.
Well, they ain't trying to buy shit.
But Marty created this. And then
Yeah.
and then he abandoned it.
He was getting in. He was getting backdoor money for like shit, like buildings going up and shit. All right, like, dude, we're trying to make this in Dorchester happen, but you know, there's a lot of people that get high over at the park. Okay, dude, when COVID first started, I used to watch paddy wagons pick people up in Southie that were sitting like out in front of like St. Monica's Church, pick them up and drive them down here.
So what?
Yep, and he was.
Being here, do you think people meet the criteria for a Section 35 because they're injecting likely fatal overdose levels of fentanyl and heroin? Do you think that
That
itself?
should be a reason why people get section.
Do you think that itself though is a suicidal? It's a sign that I don't care if I live or
You are a
die.
danger to yourself or others. These people are a danger to others too. I remember being sober, going in Target, right, and happened to walk my son through like the only walkway, right, and guess what? I'm like having to step over needles. They're smoking crack. Like it's even spread down to Target. Like
But do you think that simply just putting a needle in your arm with fentanyl in it, is that a sign that you're suicidal? You don't care if you live or die.
no, I believe so.
So do you think that simply being here should be enough for people to be getting Section 35?
Yes. But you know what? Okay, I'm sorry. Nobody wants to go to jail. Jail is not what people think it is. Have you ever, any of you ever been? Okay. It's not what people think it is. I fucking performed in a talent show. Like, I was playing. I did 2 years, right? And I fucking had the best time of my life. I belly laughed because you want to know why? I was sober in there. Really sober. And you know what it is? You know what it is about walk facilities? You know you can't leave. So that like racing thought, that racing thought of like, should I go? Should I stay? Is removed. Because guess what? You know you're not going nowhere. There's no place you
Let me ask
can.
you a question. What do you think about, do you think people should put mental health facilities as well? Do you think that?
Yeah, it depends on like their it depends on like where they're at. Like people who do meth, absolutely. I think that they absolutely
They become psychotic.
Oh, I was up for 11 days. I thought the feds were after me. I ended up beating up a girl in detox. Like it was wild.
So you think
And-
like maybe even mental health facilities would be better than taking them to jail?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of, like,
Solution should be. What is wrong with detaining someone for 30 days until they find a halfway house or a sober house? What's wrong with that? They're not gonna die in there. Then, like I said, I was fucking playing handball. Fucking, I might have came out fucking 220. So my handball game wasn't too good, you know. I was fucking, the only thing I was smashing was honey buns from there. But you know, but only a dog wants a bone. But you're gonna hear from other people when you speak to other people the complete opposite. Like you're gonna hear, I've been out here. I would stop using if I had somewhere stable. This is what I got. That's like that, right? Where they weren't making a lot of money, right? But they were making too much to get any help at the same time, and you're paying $175 rent. So it's like, okay, how am I supposed to save? And they're waiting to get their kids back, and DCF won't give them their children back until they have somewhere to live. How the fuck can I come up with fucking $5,000 and they want now in the bank another $15,000, 3 months worth of rent? No, you can't. So basically these poor girls, I watch them struggle, I watch them cry, I watch them work their asses off, and then I fucking got wind of what was going on down here, and I was like, are you fucking for real? Are you fucking for real? You will stick fucking Joe Flipperhead, who probably is from fucking Rhode Island, not even Boston, in this apartment where he's shooting dope, smoking crack, and basically, and like, not like has a free place to live. They're enabling, they're coddling. But what I think it is the rich people were like, fuck it, let's just get them out of the way.
Right.
Because this was, you guys can call me crazy, this all started when Marty Walsh was on as a mayor.
Yes.
Marty Walsh was the president of the unions.
Yep.
And I don't care, fuck him, right?
Right.
And I grew up with this daughter in Dorchester, fuck him. He had people in his pocket. He had an idea. He goes, let's fucking take all, like during COVID, all these fucking addicts and stick them in one place so the building value and the apartment values won't go down in Charlestown or Dorchester or Roxbury. Like, cause now even Dorchester's fucking like $1,800 for a one bedroom.
Right.
Like, that's where I grew up. Like, that used to be like, oh no, don't go to Dorchester.
That's an interesting theory.
Beautiful.
Yeah, take it.
Delicious.
Why not? Harm reduction. They believe that if people have stable housing, they'll have a better chance against sober. True, right? But you gotta be sober.
Right.
You gotta get a fucking job.
Right,
Like,
right.
we're like, absolutely. My biggest thing, I remember I got home from prison in 2015. I did 2 years, right? And I'm sorry. I came home, right? And I remember thinking to myself, I just got my GED. I have no trade. I have no fucking college credits, right? I ended up doing like demolition with my dad, right? I said, how the fuck am I ever gonna survive without my parents helping me? How? I'm embarrassed because my teeth are all broken, right? And I'm embarrassed to go on a job interview because of that. And you know, I just like, it makes me sad because I see these girls, these women, men too, you know, that go to have sober houses and that are trying to reunify with their children and they can't because they have nowhere to bring them, right? But then you got people down here that are actively shooting heroin and smoking crack cocaine, Tina, whatever you name it, right? And they give them an apartment. They don't drug test them. Nothing.
So do you think that in some ways the city is trying to move the problem out of like the visible eye of people, get them and put them behind closed doors?
Exactly. That's exactly it, right? And not only, so you're not helping Mayor Wu, because unless you're trying to kill off some fucking people, you're not helping because you're putting people in these apartments where who's gonna fucking knock in them if they're in an apartment by themselves?
Right.
And you don't want to decommunitize them? What? So by saying that means, in my opinion, you don't want to move them too far away from their drug dealer. You know, because if you move these people out of Boston, out of fucking 2 streets from over here, maybe they would get sober. But you know what they do? They sleep in their apartments at night and get high, and then they come down here all day and try to hustle up money for drugs and all that other shit. So it's like, what do you, like, honestly, shame on Wu. I always say that.
Right.
We say that too. That's
Say it all the
interesting.
time.
Shame
Everyone says it. The
on
whole
Wu.
city is saying it.
Go to fucking Chicago. Go back to Chicago, bitch.
Can I ask you a question? It's kind of
Sorry.
personal.
Yeah, of course
When
you
you
can.
were a little girl, I'm talking little, what did you want to be when you got older?
Police officer.
Did you ever dream that you would be in the situation you're in right now?
Never.
So
Never. I just had my son taken from me Thursday. Right?
How old is he?
9 months. He was on my fucking hip. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna sit here and say DCF stole my kid. DCF fucking kidnapped my kid, man. No, they didn't. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get back on track. And I love my boyfriend. He was just right here. That's also my children's father, right? And I kicked him out, and this is what my relapse. Think about it. Ready? So, in a halfway house, you are considered what's it called? Homeless, right? Because there's an end date. I have to be out of this house by fucking, let's say January 6th. And at January 6th, I have nowhere to go, right? So, like, women and their children can go into whatever, if they can get them right away, say if they're like with family. Now, if you go into a sober house, you pay rent there, so you're not homeless, right? And there's no like, you can stay at a sober house as long as you want, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but like, who the fuck wants to?
And DCF will never give you your kids back. If you
No,
say that.
you can't bring your children there. You can't. So, like, and that's another thing. Make more fucking programs, like, for families, like, that are trying to get, like, their kids back. Like, why no? Okay, I got an idea. You gotta stay in a shelter. And the people that don't go to the shelters go to sober houses because they don't want to be around this.
Right.
They could go to the sober, they could go to the shelter, but why the fuck would they?
When you say this, you mean people shooting off, getting high?
Yeah, smoking crack, fucking meth, like, girls get fucking raped around down here, pulled in the tents. Are they talking about that on the fucking news? No,
Did you
they
hear
aren't.
about a guy driving around, picking chicks up?
There's a serial killer. I'm telling you right now, they found 4 girls in the past two years or a year and a half down U-Haul, raped, hogtied, and left there.
When was the last one that you heard of?
It might have been about 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's what I heard. June?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Did you hear how old she was?
Young. I think. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I heard. She was 16.
Oh my goodness.
Dude.
So, is it fair to say that women down here are afraid not just that they might, get robbed, but that they might get killed?
They might get killed, they might get raped, they're doing dates, like I used to, I'm not gonna lie. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. I had, like I said, maintained some sobriety, and I had a job, but it was crazy because, like, I could get all this extra help, but, like, once I got sober, I was like,
You're on your own.
yeah, like, I know a girl, right? She has 4 children, 2 that one's adopted, one's somewhere, God knows where, and she had 2 of them. She ended up losing them. They were in foster care for 2 years, right? They were like 4 and 5. While her kids were in foster care, they gave her a 2-bedroom voucher with a $2,800 limit for a 2-bedroom in Boston. So she got it. She does not have her children back. This was 2 years ago. She did not get sober. She traps that apartment out, and other people are taking care of her children. It's not even funny. First of all, I grew up here. Second of all, my whole family is here, right? Like, so anyone who babysat him while I worked was in Boston. If not Dad, but I couldn't let Dad do it because he was active, and I kicked him out. So now I took on the role of 2 children, a single mother, and I also am working 4 days a week,
You're
right?
fucking exhausted.
Exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Our days would start at 5:30 a.m. because I'd have to drive them to Quincy from Lynn, right? And then I would have to drop my daughter off, in, at my mother's in South Boston, and she would bring her to school. And I would have to be at work by 7:30. Then I would get out of my job about 5. They usually let me leave early, 4:30. They close at 4. It's a brunch place. And I would have to leave there, go get my son, go get my daughter, and go back to Lynn in rush hour traffic. We weren't getting home till fucking.
Yeah, 50.
So why was I decommunitized? Why wasn't it a fucking priority to keep a mother with a child that's in daycare? And now, mind you, that daycare is one of my daughter's vices because her father and her mother were just getting high for a year, off and on. So that school was a vice for her support. Because people would be like, well, what, you can move your daughter to a daycare and win. No, that's pretty selfish of me, right? Because my aunt picked her up a few days because she was living in Quincy. She wasn't going to come all the way to Lynn to pick her up.
That's a lot to ask a family.
Yeah, and like I just had, I got so tired. I was burnt out, and I didn't really want to ask for help like I did, but like they weren't really doing nothing. Like I called about this, then the fucking place they put me in. I wish I could have you guys over there. I would. I'd let you guys come. In Lynn, the place they put me in is infamously known. Anytime I tell anybody, I say I live in like a fucking big trap building. One of the worst places in Lynn to live,
Right. So how
right?
are you supposed to keep yourself
We
sober?
moved in there sober, and it's like you get all these people getting high in hallways, and it's like one big square. It's hard to explain, and there's a courtyard, so like you can there's a lookout that looks out the window that can see the door if the cops are coming. But it was like, what the fuck do we do? And my boyfriend had never ever completed a detox before. He's 40 years
Huge.
old.
This was
He completed a Charlestown house. He graduated school. Like he really wanted it, and he's a very quiet kid. I'm more outgoing. And literally, he finally built like a community out here. And you stick us in, and I give you letters from everybody, like character letters. I gave letters from my boss. I gave letters from people in A.
hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong. You and your boyfriend, you decided to do it the right way. You guys went, you got help.
Separate, yeah.
You were clean for, you said 15 months about, 16 months?
Almost 18.
But the deck was stacked against you. They moved you out of the city. They moved you away from your supports, your family, all the things that would help keep you sober. Your boyfriend relapsed, which doesn't help you. Now you're carrying the whole load on yourself, doing the kids, working.
Well, I relapsed on Adderall.
So you end up relapsing.
But and that leads me to my drug of choice, which is fentanyl.
So it didn't work. What they did, it sounds like it didn't work. If you were in charge, if you could come up with a plan, what would it look like? What would the city do, in your opinion, to help people like you?
People want first of all, you should be focusing on the people that are graduating these halfway houses, that have no job training, that are scared to death to look for a job, that have fucked up teeth, and they're insecure. They don't have family that's gonna buy them clothes to go fucking to interviews and shit, right? Most of the girls either wait for men, it's easy. They go into construction.
Yeah, right.
Women, they usually either work at like Dunkin' Donuts or they work at like a Family Dollar or CVS, make a minimum wage. Or they waitress. That's what I did, and I did make good money waitressing. You know, I did it in the North End for over a year. And at 32 years old, I'm embarrassed to say this. That was the longest job I've ever kept.
It's something to be proud of.
I was proud of myself, you know? I was very proud of myself. And then I got pregnant with my son. So what I would say, right, is if you want to help people out here, right, fucking, here's South Bay, motherfucker. I'm sorry. This no consequence bullshit ain't helping nobody. Because you know what? Until I face real consequences, I didn't even bother. What the fuck do I care? When I saw this for the first time, I was like, what? I had 15 months sober. This was after I had my 3-year-old, who's with my mother. you know, and I got custody of her back, full custody. I went, you know, into treatment, and Dad didn't, you know, and I chased him around, and I became obsessed with him, and I think that's what led me to my last relapse. Because I'm Boston, born and raised too, so I've seen it. My mother used to get high down here fucking 20 years ago.
Who do you think this lady's deal is right now? Black shirt.
I believe she is some type of volunteer, probably.
Looking for a family member, maybe?
Yeah. Sad. My mother does it. I run like fucking. My mother shows up, she's a lunatic.
She loves her daughter.
But she knows all these people because she works in the field and she's in recovery. Me and my mom used to shoot dope together. So yeah, I think that what I think she should be spending her fucking money on is like more like fucking people that want it, that aren't down here, that want it, that are sober living with no fucking end date on when they're gonna get an apartment to get their kids back. So guess what they end up doing? Getting high again because they feel hopeless all over again.
Yeah. I really have enjoyed talking to you. I think you've.
So, to sum things up, nothing has gotten better and may have even gotten worse. We heard from other residents that their tents and personal belongings were stolen and thrown away by the volunteers and police that executed Mayor Wu's clean sweep. Allegedly, when the reporters visited Mass and Cass during the earlier months of 2022, while Mayor Wu was executing her plan, they were told not to approach the residents of the area and that the people they did speak to were handpicked by the police and or other city employees or volunteers. Instead of helping these individuals achieve sobriety, they're just handing out housing vouchers and turning their backs. More recently, we saw a video of a local restaurant owner attempting to donate food to the residents and being physically pushed away by security guards that the city has contracted to keep the area safe. Children can't play in the local parks because there are used needles and other contaminated trash all over the ground. At any given moment of any day, you can drive through and see people actively injecting drugs or passed out on the sidewalk or nodding off in the streets of the major intersection. I hope this video sheds some light on what is actually happening at Mass and Cass, and I hope our conversation with this woman helps to humanize all those lost souls we see every day. For more information or to get involved with exposing the truth of what's happening in Boston and all around Massachusetts, fill out our contact form at wethepeopleofma.org.